For decades, the United States has stood as a symbol of hope and opportunity, a country where individuals from around the world sought freedom, prosperity, and a better future. Immigrants in particular have flocked to the US with dreams of a new life, driven by the promise of upward mobility and economic prosperity. However, a startling shift has occurred in recent years. More immigrants are leaving the United States than ever before, and not just in small groups, but in large waves. Between 2020 and 2023, over 4.3 million people departed the country, a trend that has only intensified since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. As the world grapples with the effects of the pandemic, many are left wondering why people who once sought a better life in America are now choosing to return to their home countries. What has changed? The first major factor contributing to this migration away from the US is the skyrocketing housing costs. The American dream has long been associated with home ownership, a symbol of stability, security, and the ability to build a future for one's family. However, this dream has become increasingly elusive, particularly in the wake of rising home prices. In 2023, the average price of a home in the United States reached a staggering $419,000, marking an 18% increase from 2020. This rise in home prices is especially evident in major cities like Los Angeles, where home prices have surpassed $900,000, and New York, where the average price is now around $690,000. Even renting has become a financial burden. In Miami, rents have surged by 30% since 2020, further making the cost of housing unaffordable for many, particularly immigrant families. For many, the dream of home ownership remains out of reach, and even securing a rental property has become an arduous financial challenge. The second contributing factor to immigrants' departure from the US is the rising cost of living and the ongoing inflation crisis. The cost of living has climbed steadily, affecting virtually every aspect of daily life. The average grocery bill for a family of 4 is now $1,200 per month, with the prices of basic items like eggs increasing by 60%, and milk prices rising by 20% since 2020. Gasoline prices have surged to an average of $3.75 per gallon, and utility bills have risen as well, with the average electricity bill increasing by 10 to 15%, leaving many families with monthly utility expenses of around $200. Immigrant families, in particular, are feeling the strain of these rising costs, which make it increasingly difficult to make ends meet. While wages have seen some growth, they have not kept pace with inflation, and many immigrant workers find it harder to stretch their paychecks each month to cover the soaring costs of everyday living. Healthcare costs, once considered one of the advantages of living in the US, have now become a heavy burden for many immigrant families. The average cost of a family health insurance plan has reached approximately $22,000 per year, an amount that is simply unaffordable for many immigrants. For those who do not have access to insurance, medical bills can accumulate rapidly, often ranging from $3,500 to $5,000 annually. The inability to afford health coverage or high medical costs creates a significant barrier to accessing necessary healthcare, leaving many immigrants in a vulnerable position. For families already struggling with the financial pressures of daily life, the rising cost of healthcare adds another layer of stress and hardship. Additionally, the uncertainty surrounding immigration policies has become a major factor driving immigrants to leave the USA. With approximately 8 million immigrants living in the country without legal status, the lack of a clear path to citizenship or permanent residency has created a state of anxiety and insecurity. The constant threat of deportation looms large for many, and the costs associated with legal fees to obtain permanent residency can reach as high as $110,000. Some immigrants have been waiting for approval for up to 10 years. The unpredictable nature of the immigration system, combined with the financial and emotional strain of navigating it, has led many to make the difficult decision to return to their home countries, where they feel they can build a more secure and stable future. The fifth reason for this migration away from the US is the declining job opportunities and stagnant wages. For many immigrants, the US was once seen as a land of opportunity, a place where hard work could lead to success and advancement. However, in recent years, wage growth has failed to keep pace with the rising cost of living. While wages have grown by 3.1% annually, inflation has outpaced this, hovering between 8 and 9%. As a result, immigrant workers have seen their purchasing power steadily decline, leaving them stuck in low-wage jobs with limited opportunities for advancement. Many are finding it increasingly difficult to build savings, invest in their families' futures, or achieve financial security. Beyond the economic factors, there is also the appeal of better quality of life and opportunities in immigrants' home countries. Many immigrants are returning to their countries of origin, not out of necessity, but because life is simply more affordable and enjoyable there. In countries like Mexico, India, and Colombia, the cost of living is often 40 to 50% lower than in the United States. A family can live comfortably on just $1,000 to $1,500 per month, which is a far cry from the financial strain experienced in the US. In these countries, immigrants can start businesses, live near extended family, and invest in their futures without the constant financial pressure that comes with living in the US. In fact, the US Census Bureau reports that over 700,000 US citizens returned to Mexico in 2022, many citing the lower living costs and a better quality of life. For these immigrants, returning home isn't a defeat, but rather an opportunity to live a more fulfilling and secure life. Lastly, the political and social climate in the US has become increasingly hostile toward immigrants. A growing percentage of Americans, 65% in 2023, expressed negative views about immigration. For immigrants, especially those who came seeking refuge or a fresh start, the rise in xenophobia and anti-immigrant rhetoric has made the US feel less like a welcoming land of opportunity and more like a place of hostility. This growing sense of unwelcomeness and fear has pushed many immigrants to reconsider their decision to stay in the US and seek a safer, more supportive environment elsewhere. In conclusion, while the United States remains a land of opportunity for millions, for an increasing number of immigrants, the cost of staying no longer outweighs the benefits. Skyrocketing housing costs, unaffordable healthcare, stagnant wages, uncertain immigration policies, and a changing political climate are all contributing to the mass exodus of immigrants from the US. Many are returning home to seek a better life, one that offers a more secure and financially stable future. As the landscape for immigrants continues to shift, it raises the question: is the United States losing its appeal as the land of opportunity? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. See you in the next video.